The next technique we're going to learn is called feather blending. It's also referred to as feathering or flicking. In classes, I've heard people call it swishing or swooshing. You'll hear all kinds of names for this technique. Now, if you have our Caboodles class kit, you received this coloring technique page in here that really discusses it a little bit more in depth and walks you through it. And then we're going to pick up on our exercise sheet. You can see earlier we did the coloring in circles. Now we are going to do our feather blending technique here. For this technique, I'm going to be using YG93, YG95, and YG97. So let's get started. Okay, here we go. First, I'm going to start with my YG93. It's my lightest color. Now, one of the things I've learned from Caboodles classes, from watching other people, is that everyone holds their marker differently and everyone has different weights that they apply to their marker. And this is really important because it really affects your end result. One of the things I learned is that I have a very, very heavy hand. When I feather blending is taking your marker and placing it down and swooshing it across, or flicking it across, or feathering it across. But you can see how thick my lines are and how heavy my hand is. Notice the angle that I hold my marker. Now, what I observed in class is that everyone holds their marker differently. A lot of people hold it right erect, and they take and they just flick or swoosh or feather like this. And they get a totally different result than I do. Going in between those, you get another, another very interesting look. So really, when you're doing any of these techniques, play with your marker angle and become aware of the weight that you're putting on your marker, because it's really going to affect your final outcome. And you may be looking for one of these, depending on the image that you're coloring, one of these might be very effective. So let's get to coloring this here. I want to make sure that I've got that in the screen. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, and the circle's just my guide. If you go outside the lines, don't worry about it. But I'm going to take, and I'm just going to hold my marker down and flick. Hold my marker down and flick, or feather. And I'm just going to do that across the circumference of the circle. Now you can see that I have lines in my blending, so that's called an uneven blend. Now, if I wanted to continue going to get an even blend, I would continue to go over that until I was satisfied with my blend or achieved the look that I was going for. So this is my lightest color, my YG93. Now I'm going to pick up my YG95. It's my middle color. And my aim is going to be this little tick mark that we've dropped in right here. And I'm just going to blend or flick over to that line. Now, if you've got unevenness in your lines or you're unhappy with how that looks, you can go back with your lightest color and you can soften that. And just flick right back over that. Then I'm going to pick up my darker color, which is my YG97, and I'm going to follow my little tick mark right here. And I'm just going to flick my color in or feather blend it. Now I'm going to, for this one, I can go back with my medium color and go over that tone. And when I go back with one of my lighter colors, I try to go back. For my medium one, I'm going to aim for this line. For my light one, I'm going to aim for the full circle line. And I'm just going to flick that back over. And I can continue to do this, going over, layering the colors on as much as I like until I'm happy with the end result. What you're going to find is that there's a huge learning curve with the Copics. And I think it's important that you discover what works best for you. Everyone has different methods and different techniques, and really finding out how you use them best and how you like to color with them, that's the best way for you to color. And you might need to try some different things until you discover which method you like best. But that's the basics of feather blending.